Here are 50 new and free Oculus Quest 2 games on APPLAB and SideQuest. Let's go! Oh wait, hang on a minute, I can't see properly. I'm gonna have to buy some prescription lenses from today's sponsor, VR Wave. VR Wave make incredible prescription lenses for the Quest 2 and other popular VR headsets. You can have them to correct nearsightedness and astigmatism, or even get them to filter out blue light to reduce eye strain. The best part about it is that they offer worldwide shipping, so no matter where you are, you can take advantage of their amazing product. Head to www.vr-wave.store or head down in the description where I'll put a link. First up then is Band Space. This is a multiplayer VR rhythm game that allows players to play musical instruments together in a virtual space. In the game, players take on the role of space musicians on board a futuristic spaceship, with each player choosing an instrument to play. You can play drums, guitar, bass and keyboard, and as the music plays, notes appear on the screen which players must hit in time with the rhythm of the song. Players can play together in real time with up to 4 players per session. The game includes a variety of songs across different genres, including rock, pop and electronic music. Next then is Downhill Bike. This is a virtual mountain biking game that simulates the thrill of racing down steep mountain slopes on a mountain bike, where the game offers a range of different tracks to provide a different challenge to players as they ride down the mountain. You must maneuver around obstacles such as rocks, trees and jumps while maintaining balance to avoid crashes. The game's recent update includes multiplayer, and the game also contains leaderboard support so you can compete for the high score. Next up then is JKXR, which is Jedi Knight 2 in VR. Now JKXR is a standalone VR port of the popular Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. Now there isn't much to say about this besides for the fact it's not an official port of the game, but expect many lightsabers and Jedi in VR. Next up then is Decommission. Now Decommission is a virtual reality social deduction game where players are placed on a space station to Mars that is about to be decommissioned. The station is on the verge of collapse and players have to work together to save it from mandatory evacuation. However, among the players there is a mole whose goal is to sabotage the station and bring it down. Now I know you know where this is going. It's basically another version of Among Us. To win the game, players must identify the mole and eliminate them while still working together to repair the station systems, and the mole on the other hand must remain undetected and sabotage the station without being caught. Basically guys, it is a form of Among Us but with meta avatars. Next up then is Siberian. Siberian is a multiplayer action and adventure game that allows up to 4 players to cooperate and battle enemies in a futuristic planet. The main objectives of the game is to restore and rebuild the planet by completing various missions and quests. With over 20 missions and 50 plus hours of gameplay, Siberian offers an in-depth story that will keep players engaged for hours on end. In addition to the story, the game features an RPG style leveling system that allows players to upgrade their character and weapons as they progress through the game. There are 8 unique characters and 11 unique weapons to choose from, giving players variety as they battle their way through the game. So next up then is A Boy, a Shield and a Sword. Now this is an action-packed adventure game that challenges players to use their sword and shield skills to overcome obstacles and defeat enemies. The game's simple control make it accessible to all players as they swing, block and dodge objects while matching their weapon's colour to that of their enemy. The game is set in a childhood dream world where players must use their creativity and wits to overcome the nightmares that plague them. Next up is Animal Jigsaw VR. This is a puzzle game that offers a relaxing and educational experience to players. The game focuses on different animals and their habits, immersing players in the beauty of nature. Players can socialize with cheetahs on the savannah or listen to the peaceful sounds of the meadow amongst some deer. The gameplay involves completing 3D puzzles of varying complexity and quantity, with over a dozen levels of increasing difficulty. Each level completed unlocks a new region and expands the player's animal collection. And next up then is Ball Balance. Now Ball Balance is a virtual reality game that challenges player skill and reflexes as they navigate through tricky levels filled with unexpected obstacles and challenges. Players must guide the ball along the path, avoiding obstacles that can make it fall. The game also requires players to maintain the health of the ball, which decreases every time it hits a hurdle. Additionally, players must reach the end point within a given time frame and collect as many diamonds as possible along the way, and with each level the difficulty increases and players must master new skills to advance in the game. Next up then is the Bowbot's Firing Range. Now Bowbots puts you in the shoes of a robot equipped with a powerful bow and an array of advanced arrows. The goal is to shoot down enemy drones to recharge their shields and protect themselves from enemy fire. Shooting targets also plays a crucial role in the game, as hitting them rewards players with even more powerful arrows, giving them an advantage over their opponents. Next up then is Box to the Beat VR. Now this is a VR boxing game that combines intense boxing action with the excitement of music. Players can experience the thrill of boxing while jamming out to their favourite tunes in a fully immersive VR environment. Now we've seen loads of rhythm based boxing games in the past, so just straight on to the next one. So next up then is Chroma Run. Now Chroma Run is a virtual reality game that provides a unique immersive experience where you must use your full body controls to physically move, rotate and dodge in order to work out. In the game you'll explore 8 fascinating worlds, each with its own distinct colour and theme, and you'll navigate 5 challenging levels in each world, facing various obstacles and challenges that become progressively harder as you get through the game. Next up then is Decoy Drop. Now this is a virtual reality game that puts you in control of a neural linked assault mech. Your mission is to draw enemy fire and attention away from your team's high value target, giving them enough time to position themselves for the attack. The game is designed as a reimagining of classic sci-fi shooter arcade games. You have a free-to-play mode where you can practice your skills and try to beat your own top scores, allowing you to improve your abilities and prepare for more challenging levels. Next up then is Drone Soccer XR Solo Prototype. Now Drone Soccer XR is a prototype virtual reality game that simulates the experience of playing drone soccer. The game is designed to be played solo and allows users to practice their skills without the need to purchase an actual drone. Players navigate their virtual drone through an arena, attempting to score goals while avoiding obstacles and opponents. The game's simple and intuitive controls make it easy for players to pick up and play, while its immersive virtual reality environments adds to the overall experience. And although currently only available as a prototype, the developers are open to feedback and suggestions from users and hope to eventually release a full multiplayer version of the game. Next up then is Aliens and Heroes. In this game you play as a fighter who has been captured by advanced aliens to participate in battles against other fighters. The aliens have selected characters from throughout history who have unique abilities and characteristics, and with the help of space-time portals they have brought them to the arena to battle each other. As a player you will choose your character and engage in battles using your character's special abilities to defeat your opponents, and the game is set in an unspecified future and offers a unique blend of sci-fi and ancient fighting style. Next up then is Forklift Driving Simulator. Now in this game you will have the opportunity to operate a forklift truck, lift and move materials, and navigate through different levels of challenges and obstacles. The game features realistic graphics that simulate the environment of a warehouse or factory floor with accurate representation of the forklift truck and materials you will be handling. It is designed to provide a fun and engaging way to learn how to operate a forklift while also testing your skills and ability to handle different tasks and scenarios. Next up is House Scale VR, which is a cutting-edge virtual reality software that utilizes the pass-through feature of the Oculus Quest 2 to provide an immersive experience to its users. With this feature, users can create virtual objects and convert them into in-game elements, and the game itself is a wave-based survival game that involves 2 types of zombies. One, zombies that use projectiles to attack, and zombies that use their hands. Players must defend themselves against these zombies by slashing them with a sword or shooting them with a bow and arrow. During the game, the walls and the objects of your house will translate to in-game objects that can be destroyed by the zombies in order to reach the player. Next up then is Kaiju Chaos, which is a VR game that puts players in the shoes of a giant monster known as a kaiju, and your goal is to rampage through the city and destroy everything in your path like Godzilla. Now this is currently a demo, but the game does feature a variety of different kaiju to choose from, each with unique abilities and attacks, and as players move through the city they can stomp on buildings, crush cars and battle against other kaiju. The game also includes a range of human defenders such as tanks and helicopters that players must fight off to avoid being taken down. This game is very similar to Blockbuster, which I recently covered in a video. Next up then is Gorilla Volleyball. Now this is an obvious mix between Gorilla Tag and Volleyball with the same locomotion as the mentioned game. This doesn't need any more of an explanation as we've seen many Gorilla Tag knockoffs in the past, so let's get on to the next one. Next up then is Mixed Reality Bowling. Now Mixed Reality Bowling is exactly what it says it is. The game allows you, the player, to play bowling in your home environment by taking advantage of the Oculus Quest Mixed Reality features. That's all we can say about that one, so on to the next one. Next up then is Shoot House VR. Now this is a physics-based shooting range simulation that provides a realistic shooting experience to players. Players can test their shooting skills with a variety of firearms such as pistols, shotguns and rifles. The game's ammo system is similar to that of Half-Life Alyx, which means players can grab ammo from behind their shoulders. The game also features additional mini-games for players to enjoy. Multiplayer support is planned in future, allowing players to compete against each other in shooting challenges. Next up then is the Bubble Game. Now the Bubble Game is a virtual reality popping game that is designed to be a refreshing and relaxing way to unwind and de-stress from the hectic pace of everyday life. The game in itself is a tranquil world filled with bubbles, and your objective is to simply pop as many as you can as you progress through the levels, and you'll encounter increasingly complex patterns of bubbles requiring you to use your wits and reflexes to pop them all before time runs out. Next up then is Toss It. Now this is a VR game where you must you guess it, toss rolled up pieces of paper to knock over the targets in front of you. There are 3 exciting challenges to choose from, but that's really all I can say, so straight on to the next one. Next up then is Ultra Globe. Ultra Globe is a social game where you fly around an enchanting world on your own or with other players. There isn't really much going on here except for the fact that they've just got trees, waters, animals, insects, fish and birds in the map that you're in. But that's all I can really say for this one, so on to the next one, which is... Next up is VR Arm, or VR-Arm. VR-Arm is a difficult puzzle game where you control an industrial robot arm to complete tasks. Hand-eye coordination will be stretched to its limits as the game asks you to master 6 rotating and pivoting joints in tandem to complete tasks in your virtual physics-based environment. As this is only a demo, you will currently only be able to play 2 levels of the game, but you can try it out today. Next up is the Rooms of Reality demo. Now, Rooms of Reality is a puzzle game that can be played alone or with friends. It features various levels with challenges that require logic, mechanics, precision, memory, cooperation, cipher, and skill. The game offers a well balance of puzzles, and if you get stuck, there is a smart hint system to help you out. You can play the game in co-op mode with your friends, or go it alone in solo mode. Next up then is Sky Strikers, which is in early access. Now, Sky Strikers merges sports excitement with immersive VR by looking and acting like a cross between traditional baseball and the non-VR game Rocket League. In this multiplayer sports VR game, you can jump around on rocket boosters while attempting to use your baseball bat to hit the ball into the goal or use it to defend your position in game. Like I said, it's very much a version of Rocket League in VR. Next up then is the Mini Golf Hustler demo, where you must challenge Slick Willie Putman to a high stakes game of golf. The courses you can play on are quite varied, and you have 9 holes to play on the demo, and the aim is to place bets in order to take as much cash as possible from your opponent. You have obstacles on the course like armed torpedoes, tentacle arms, and much more, and you can use an air horn to distract your opponent. Next up is Moonlander. The goal here is to fly a space copter over alien moons and planets. You encounter enemies as you grow your pilot career, and you must deliver packages onto containers while avoiding enemies. Just remember your fuel is limited, so make sure to recharge often by landing on charging platforms or collecting pickups. Note, at present this is not a full game but only a demonstration. Next up is the appropriately named free VR game Piano. This is a hand tracking game where you can, yes, play piano. You will also record anything that you play on there, but that's all I can say about this one, so on to the next one, which is Bullet Master Run. Now, this game looks like a VR version of the mobile game that appears in the adverts of YouTube Short. This is a first-person shooter where you are a spy and you must shoot your gun with enough precision to take out the bad guys in order to save the hostages. There will always be obstacles in your way, so be sure to shoot carefully and try to save as many hostages as you can. So next up then is the Builder and Drive Racing demo. This is a third-person VR racing game that allows you to build your ultimate racing machine that is tailored to your driving style and optimized for performance. The game has stylized graphics and arcade-like physics, so you can use your newly created vehicle to jump over dangerous ramps or face off against your own ghost. So next up then is Ploko. Now, Ploko aims to be a very relaxing puzzle game in which you build small and detailed worlds by placing more or less imposing elements and watch it come to life. The music is meant to be very chill that gets richer as you progress, and there is said to be cats hidden in the levels for you to find. So next up then is Kill the Dead VR. This is yet another zombie wave shooter in which you try to survive for as long as possible with just a pistol and your own brain. If the zombies catch you, then it's game over. Now, we've seen a ton of wave shooters the last few months, so on to the next game, which is One Punch A-Hole. Now, One Punch A-Hole is a silly free game that allows you to take out your frustrations on an unsuspecting ragdoll that, when it's hit, will fly across the level and destroy the blocks in its way. The goal is to get the best combo and high score worldwide. So next up then is Ready Hero Fit. Now, in this game, you must become a research scientist on a mission to save society by discovering a new energy source. With a human-powered ship, you must navigate through planets full of vegetation, collect plant samples, and face different challenges while getting a full body workout as you row your way through various alien worlds. Next up is another VR workout game called VR Workout Warmup. Now, this game is designed to give you a workout experience that's both immersive and effective. You can transform your living room into a personal gym with a full body VR workout and hand tracking. In this game, you'll be doing a variety of exercises including jumping, squatting, push-ups, and even burpees to the beat of the music. This game is just a warm-up for your next VR fitness session. So next up then is the Nano Force Alpha. Now this is a VR multiplayer first-person shooter game that's very similar to the game Splatoon. In this game, you'll be shooting ghouls, swimming, jumping and climbing through walls while trying to cover the playing field in your team's colour before time runs out. The goal is to outmaneuver and outsmart your opponents without getting hit by enemy fire. It has vibrant colours and a fast-paced gameplay, so if you are a fan of Splatoon, it could be worth a shot, and it is free to try today. So next up is Underground Crash VR. Now in Underground Crash VR, you must immerse yourself in the racing world and become an underground driver. This game is full of different racing challenges, allowing you to polish your skills, earn prizes in events and upgrade your vehicle. In addition to racing, you can also participate in the Demolition Derby, where you must smash the enemy's vehicle to pieces until they can't move no more. You can also play Coin Eater to earn coins as fast as possible to upgrade or modify your car further. There are 4 tracks for beginners and veterans to challenge different difficulties, and 4 different styles of vehicles to choose from, including realistic, sci-fi, cool and what the developers call cute. So next up is Sphere, which is another metaverse that's become available on the Quest 2. As always, it's aimed towards growing businesses and personal use as a way of interacting with others in a virtual world, and says it's perfect for gamers, entrepreneurs and businesses alike. That's all we can say about that for now, so on to the next one, which is Drum Legend. Now Drum Legend is essentially Beat Saber with drums. As this is a rhythm game, it means that the stuff you must hit will fly towards you very fast, and you will hit the drums in a world full of futuristic colours. Next up is Immunofury, which is a fast-paced, gesture-controlled battle against viruses in a unique roguelike Immunofury. I see what they did there. Here you must fight deadly viruses that threaten the human body with weapons that are linked to hand gestures and movements that unleash devastating abilities and can decimate your enemies. So next up is the Tycoon Pizza Cafe. Now this is a virtual reality game that challenges players to build a successful pizza business, very similar to the classic Roblox VR title like Cook Burgers. In this game, players are tasked with maximizing profits and growing their cafe through effective management and smart investments, as at the start players have to do everything themselves, from sourcing raw materials to making pizzas and managing the cash counter. As they earn game currency through hard work, players can hire new employees and invest in machinery to streamline their operation and increase productivity. The ultimate goal of the game is to become a successful business tycoon in a highly competitive pizza industry. Next up is the CopernicAI demo. This is an interesting application that allows users to walk through and explore various virtual environments created from AI-generated 360 scenes. As you can see here, they can be very trippy experiences. Next up is a Fractal Odyssey. This is an app created by a Ukrainian team to help fight anxiety during the war. It is designed to be used for 15 minutes a day with slower breathing to provide relaxation and release from stress. The app features a fly-through experience of an infinite coach fractal tunnel, providing a visually stimulating and calming experience. Next up is Naruto's Quest. This is a free-to-play game made for the Oculus Quest, designed to let players immerse themselves in battle as they become the hero of the Hidden Leaf Village and prevent its destruction. The game is a fan-made Naruto game that allows players to use various combat techniques to defeat their enemies, featuring battles with well-known Naruto villains such as Pain and White Zetsu. Players can use their combat skills to defend themselves against these challenges, using techniques such as Rasengan, Kunai, and Fist to defeat their enemies. Next up then is Stilt. This is a Gorilla Tag inspired game designed for VR on the Oculus Quest, where players use stilts attached to their hands to jump and run through challenging levels and overcome obstacles. The players embark on an exciting adventure with a mission to retrieve the stolen spaceship taken by a giant octopus that lives atop of a volcano. Obviously, the player must make their way toward the goal, collecting cogwheels scattered through the levels to aid them in their journey. Next up then is Spaceball. This is another Rocket League inspired multiplayer game where you can play soccer, basketball and baseball, and like Rocket League you must hit the ball into the designated area. That's really it for this one. Next up then is Isolation in the Forest VR, a nightmare reality. This is a VR horror game where you must venture out into the lonely forest and you must survive against evil zombie-like cannibals with a variety of weapons including shotguns, axes and more. There are jump scares and everything you would expect from a VR horror game. Next up then is Potato Ronin. This is a basic VR wave slasher where you must slash the oncoming wave of different potatoes who are apparently known as the tubers. Not YouTubers, I hope. You can dual wield swords, fire kunai at your enemies, and sometimes there are potatoes dressed as ninjas, naturally. Next then is THZZLS Treasures Lost in Time. This is a VR paper theater experience designed for the MetaQuest, where players use their hands to solve puzzles and manipulate objects. The game is centered around the theme of lost treasure from the past, and players will be tasked with rearranging furniture and props within different rooms to uncover hidden treasures. All game objects are original steel engravings from the 19th Century magazine. Unlike other VR games that requires controllers, players will use their hands to interact with the game and the world objects. So next up then is to check on screen for more new and free VR games. Bye bye for now.